So here's an interesting thing. Apparently, I've got a game capture that automatically captured Arena as soon as I switched over to my intro scene. Like apparently, I was using this scene for I think maybe multiverse chess. I think maybe chess with multiverse time travel or something. Because that's the only chess game I've played on stream, so that would be the only thing I could see me having a game capture titled chess for. Alright, so I've got a to, I have done a couple drafts of Brothers War already, but I've been saving the draft token that I got from the Dominar United Mastery Pass. First to draft Brothers War, and now more specifically to do a stream of a draft of Brothers War, which will add more to my growing pile of packs as I've decided to actually follow through on this tip that I've read online of basically starting a new set with draft, and then once you're done with at least your initial few drafts of the set, then cracking all of your packs. So that you can kind of make a little bit of, so that you can like maximize how much you can get off of duplicate protection, because that only applies to to booster packs and not to draft packs. Which makes sense, because as you would want to have the full selection of cards for draft, so that you're not missing out on on some limited bombs if you just so happen to have 4 copies of them already. Plus, it helps to maintain a proper simulation and of the drafting experience. So let's hop on Premier Draft. Which I guess I could spend gems, but like I'm probably just gonna put those towards a Mastery Pass, because that was actually something that I was able to do for a while until I started maybe like falling off a little bit on playing Constructed. And I was actually able to just keep Mastery Pass going for a while without spending any money whatsoever on the game. Which, I mean, is not really what Wizards wants me to be doing, but it's what I'm doing. Because, Wizards would prefer if I spend as much money as possible. But I mean, part of the appeal of Arena for me is that I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money be buying cards. So let's see, we've got Caleb and Krug. Ooh. You can just dump your hand to dump out some cheap stuff. I might just go for Arbalest Engineers. See how red-green fares. Well, admittedly, from what I've seen so far, one of the better archetypes seems to be black-white, but maybe I'm just a little bit biased, since that's what I played in the pre-release. Never permanently becomes untapped. That permanent's controller mills a card. Ooh. Ooh, this is some juicy shit. Since, you know, whenever a permanent becomes untapped. Like, dang, was not expecting to see some stacks in like a powerful stacks piece in limited. Of course, you know, if we really want to make the best use of it, we want to prioritize reanimation, you know, stuff that lets us take advantage of our graveyard. So the key that allows us to use it without it becoming without it untapping. Such as stuff that, you know, you sacrifice or has vigilance. Of course, you know, we can also use stuff like machine. So maybe we do try and go like black-white, because that's a reanimator archetype. Of course, you know, so far, you know, we don't have the strong mill pieces I managed to get in the pre-release, because I got a Gix as my promo, and I got an Altar of Dementia. So I was actually able to win by mill in one of my matches of the pre-release, because I was able to use Gix's ability. But you know, having ways to return Mesmeric Orb to our hand is just gonna be insane. Particularly if it's ways that we can do it. Yeah, because we can, you know, spend the 3 mana on our opponent. We can spend the 3 mana on our before we untap anything. And if we've still got available, I think. No, I don't think that's actually an option, but we can. Maybe we grab a machine over matter. And, you know, anything with an earth is gonna be good, because that's something that we can attack with, that we can just pull out of our graveyard, swing with it, and then not have to worry about it untapping. Of course, you know, with only the one mesmeric orb, I could be entirely you know, overthinking how much we need to work around it. Which honestly, it's entirely possible that could just end up biting us in the ass, because as you know, there's a lot of graveyard shenanigans in the set. I think Machine Over Matter is probably going to be stuff like Machine Over Matter, Desynchronize. That's probably going to be our best way of bouncing the orb around, rather than Meticulous Excavation. Because those are all instant speed. So we can just bounce it back to our hand at the end of an opponent our opponent's turn, and then recast the orb. So that they have to suffer. New permanents you control will have ward, sacrifice a permanent. Each artifact card in your graveyard has unearthed one black-red. Oh, but we're kind of invested in blue-white at this point. Grab a Deadly Riposte. And I'm also not seeing a whole lot of... Ooh. We to just repeatedly put stuff from our graveyard back on the bottom of our library. That'll keep us from getting milled out, so... Just gotta keep this guy protected. And of course, you know, gotta actually get to the 5 mana since that's not an artifact, so we can't even use Power Stones on it. But we will be able to use Power Stones on the ability. Mishra's Foundry. We're not really doing anything with... You grab Weakstone Subjugation. Yeah, we're definitely gonna want to grab stuff that lets us grab stuff from our graveyard, especially if we can just put it into our library. Since, again, keeps us from getting milled out by our own thing. And, we can just kind of do a little bit of, blue light flyer stuff. A creature with power equal to its toughness enters the battlefield. Under control, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. Do we have much of anything that... I don't think we have enough so that's symmetrical. So I guess we'll go for Sky Array instead. But, pretty soon we'll have to start thinking about... well, we want to move to the sideboard. And just probably never play unless we end up needing it for something later. This has been quite good for me in a previous draft. I mean, there's not really enough good white or blue option, so we might as well go for it. You never know, maybe we can make Esper work. Esper will allow us to play stuff like Disfigure and get more removal in. Especially more permanent removal. Rather than just ways to bounce stuff back to the hand. And Lauren's Escape can target an artifact. So, if need be, we can protect the orb with Lauren's Escape. Or we can protect the Keeper of the Cadence with Lauren's Escape, since it can target either an artifact or a creature. Meticulous Excavation also allows us to some protection against instant speed removal on our turn. Also a flask. Just lets you search for it just lets you turn a basic land into a different type for a turn. Definitely grabbing the Argivian Avenger because, it can gain vigilance and flying. So it works well with our existing bits of blue-white flyers. And it can gain vigilance, so it won't have to deal with untapping and triggering the Mesmeric Orb on us. Sounds great, Worm. We're not in those colors at all, so Pushing the anchor. And I think I'll go for combat courier instead. Probably could have gone for weak zone subjugation, but you know. Which in some ways weak zone subjugation is kind of, that kind of goes against some of what we've been working with. Or do we have any soldiers at all? We have 3. Don't think that's... let's go for the tactician. And see if we can just prioritize soldiers a little bit in this last pack. Act to maximize its usefulness. I mean, for the most part, we've just been going flyers. The recommission. Yeah, I think we've got some stuff that can be brought back with recommission. Urza's rebuff is especially potent, since if we don't have anything to counter with it, we can just like tap a couple of our opponent's creatures at the end of our turn. And then they have to untap. Triggering the Mesmeric Orb. Dang, you're really gonna hold things up? Phyrexian Revoker. Yeah, I think I'll go recommission. Like, I don't know how potent. I mean, like, potent and activate abilities I have to worry about. I get the feeling that we're probably not going Esper. Like we're pretty much like playing tempo control at this point. Because I mean we've got 3 counter spells. And a whole bunch of flyers. And again the Mesmeric Orb. Alright, so we need to cut out 14 cards. I think we can probably cut like Stern Lesson and the Power Blade, and the liquid metal coating. We still need to find 10 more cards to cut. We've got 7 soldiers, so that should be good. The tactician. Like just under half of our creatures are soldiers, so maybe we drop the spotter thopter. Hmm. I'm starting to think that we might actually not have enough low-cost stuff to, low-cost artifacts and I think we could probably drop recommission. We could probably drop desynchronized too. It's a little pricey for what you get. Because like for bouncing stuff, we've already got machine over matter, so. I think that's gonna be good enough. Well, let's see how well it runs. Yeah, since it's already 1:41, definitely going a little long tonight. But yeah, I wanted to go ahead and do this while Brothers War is fairly fresh, rather than having to wait until like next month. Right, so they've got an Elsewhere flask. Right, so now we've got the mana needed to do a counter spell. They start casting anything that we need to worry about next turn. Let's just counter that. Planes. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spell. So activate. Oh, I super hate that. If only I kept counter spell up for it. But at least we can mind over machine. We can machine over matter it. So now they have to at least cast it a second time. Guess I'll just put machine over matter on the bottom of my the bottom of my library. Things are not going to go well purely because they have Myrel out. Although, if we can get since Myrel makes a lot of tokens, we can make that very. If we can get yeah, our orb out, attacking with those tokens will become very painful. Because each one that survives to untap will be one more card into the graveyard. Granted, they are playing white-black, so they'll probably have reanimation stuff. Of course, you managed to do that right now. Yeah, that's not great. Guess I'll just try and mitigate the damage a little bit. Dang, I didn't even know that was a card. Legions to Ashes. Is exile target non-land permanent opponent controls and alt token ends that player controls with the same name as that permanent. Definitely a good way of dealing with any cloning strategies. Since then you can take out the original and all the copies. These all at once for only 3 mana. Interesting how they're not being in with the soldiers at all. Right, gotta wait to at least. Oh wait, I can't. Never mind. I forgot that my counterspell is completely worthless. This because of their mythic. So guess it's just gonna have to be an early loss. Hopefully we can have the next couple not be a repeat performance. Which, you know, is mostly that one mythic that kind of ruined everything. So chances are slim that that the exact next situation will happen again. So now we've Airlift Captain, Airlift Chaplain. No valid targets, so just gonna take 3 damage. I guess I want to just Lauren's escape and take out that rock hunter, or without losing a creature to it. Although I can't just block with Reconstructed Thought there. And of course I've got a way to give it reach, indestructible, and trample. Yeah, Takasio's Amulet. Why not at this point? At least I gained 2 life off of it. Let's unearth Tokasio's Amulet and swing with it. Then for 4 damage. And now they're just gonna just gonna sit there and rope. How about you not do that and instead... So, you know, since it's separate parts... I mean, I might as well block, because, like... I already had a creature plenty strong enough to deal with that. They aren't gaining any... They didn't gain another mountain, so... Alright, it's time for the orb! And they just, and you know, they cast a big thing. Literally the turn before. So they're gonna get hit hard with Mill. Just gonna tap a couple creatures down. Of course, you know, I'm also gonna be taking a bit of a hit from Mill. You know, I'm gonna be milling 5 cards. But I also have the Argivian Avenger. So I can swing with it without... losing too many... spending too much mana. Okay, as long as it's your turn. So I'm going to give the Argivian Avenger Vigilance. Well, I guess really, that's ultimately the same cost as if I had just swung with it. In terms of number of permanents I have, they're going to be untapping on my next turn. Yeah, I may have just fucked myself. I have got Swiftier or Drake, so I can put a card from my graveyard on the bottom of my library at least. Hey, the more they buff up the Tyrant of Their Ridges, the more mana they have to spend. Well, and so the more they're going to have to mill. I can put Swiftgear Drake onto the battlefield. None of these are super good. Guess I could put the other Swiftgear Drake on the bottom of my library. Yeah, this is basically just a battle to see. Oh, I think I did indeed just fuck my. Like, I'm just gonna lose to my own Mesmeric Orb next turn. And that's assuming I survive this turn. Yeah. Yeah, I just... Yeah, I just completely fucked myself. Well, I mean, we might as well just go for the next... for at least one last game. And just see how that goes. Maybe I won't completely... maybe I won't, lose to my own card on my own side of the field. Because, it's one thing if, your opponent has like Gix or something and they steal one of your best cards. It's another thing when you just lose to poor planning with your own best card. Just gonna pay 2 life, back to hand. I'm gonna flash in ambush paratroop. Yeah, go on. Go on, block with the Earl of Chaplain. I dare you. Just gonna play Aeronaut's Wings. You know, I'll give the Archaeologist Flying. Red artifact source you control would deal. There's a rare artifact source you control would deal no damage to an opponent or permanent opponent controls deals that much damage +1 instead. Yeah, I'll just take the 3 damage to the face. I don't think I want you getting Belden out. Right, so I've only got 1 card left in hand, though. At the very least... Well, Amber's Paratrooper just became pretty much useless. But then they didn't attack. So I'll bring in Wing Commando. Yeah, I'm pretty much dead at this point. Yeah, especially since I only drew a counterspell rather than anything that would actually be useful. Well, at least, you know, got fittingly sort of dramatic and somber music like, for that poor performance. Just gonna go ahead and grab the Mastery Pass. I've got 17 packs. Oh, I haven't claimed my prize from the... So 18 packs now. Diabolic Intent. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice creature. Oh, it's a Diabolic Tutor. Just you have to sack. Hostile Negotiations. Exile the top 3 cards of your library and a face-down pile. Then exile the top 3 cards of your library to another face-down pile. Oh yeah, I think I think I heard someone talking about that. Like, it's basically... This is basically just Fact or Fiction, only worse. Over the top. Each player reveals a number of cards from the library equal to the number of non-land permanents they control. That's all permanent cards. They reveal this way onto the battlefield and puts the rest into their graveyard. Teresian and Mindbreaker. Whenever Teresian Mindbreaker attacks, the Fang player mills half their library rounded up. Semblance Anvil. Well, imprint. Whenever Semblance Anvil enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-land card from your hand. Spells you cast ensure card type with the exiled card cost 2 less. That's to cast. Interesting. The Temporal Anchor. At the beginning of your upkeep, you scry 2 whenever you choose to put one or more cards on the bottom of your library while scrying. Exile that many cards from the bottom of your library. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with the Temporal Anchor. Huh. So basically lets you scry stuff into exile. Stone Brain. Exile the Stone Brain. Choose a card name. Search your opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for up to 4 cards with that name and exile them. That player shuffles, then draws a card for each card or exile from their hand this way. Activate only as a sorcery. So it's a way to just completely remove a card from the game. Even before it even hits the battlefield. Here's Legion's Ashes. We already saw that one earlier. Here in the draft. Another Mesmeric Orb. Orbit Platoon Dispenser. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more other creatures, draw a card. And you can pay 3 in white to create a 1/1 colorless soldier artifact creature token. It has unearthed for 2 white. That's just a mythic rare wild card. We did also get the classic Millstone. And Misery's Shadow. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile instead. 1 to give Misery's Shadow +1/+1 until end of turn. In Perilous Vault, exile exile all non-land permanents. Mishra's Command. And X and a red for choose target player. You discard up to X cards, then they draw a card for each card or discard this way. This spell deals X damage to target creature. This spell deals X damage to target planeswalker. Target creature gets +X/+O and gains haste until end of turn. You choose any 2 of those. Titania, Voice of Gaia. Reach. Whenever 1 or more land cards are put into your graveyard from anywhere, you gain 2 life. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more land cards in your graveyard and you both own and control Titania, Voice of Gaia, and a land named Argoth, Sanctum of Nature, exile them, then meld them into Titania Gaia Incarnate. Which I believe we actually got the other half of this meld. Titania Gaia Incarnate has Vigilance, Reach, Ample, Haste. Titania Gaia Incarnate's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. When Titania enters the battlefield, you'll return all lands from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Put 4 or +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature, or with haste, it's still a land. In Mystic Forge, you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library. Put a tap, pay 1 life, exile the top card of your library. And Drafna, Founder of Latnam. And 1 blue to return target artifact you control to its owner's hand. And 3 in a tap to copy target artifact to spell you control. Steel Seraph, prototype for entering a 3/3 for 1 white. Flying at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gains your choice of flying, vigilant, with a lifelink until end of turn. Just two more. Another temporal anchor. And finally, Kirkle's Final Meditation. As long as it's not your turn, this spell costs 3 more to cast it. Return all non-land permanents to their owner's hands and end the turn. So I've got 8 rare wild cards and 12 mythic rare wild cards. I almost completed my quest for the day. But I think that's enough for tonight because, like, yeah, I was mostly planning to just do the draft. You know, maybe later I'll stream some constructed. But for now, I think I'll call it a night because it's, you know, I usually try and stop up at 2 a.m. and it's already a quarter after, so let me just see who I can raid. There's nobody streaming EB Funky, so I guess I'll go for somebody that's in the arena category. Oh, the Magic the Gathering category. Here, maybe somebody's doing some draft. There's someone. There's some. Doing Dota rank for some reason. Evidently, somebody was doing some magic at some point. Just like forgot to. So let's rate this person. Anyway, so for now, thank you to everyone who stopped by. Next stream in general is planned for Tuesday with, I'm not entirely sure what, because I've kind of decided to just have Tuesdays be a free space for the rest of the year. Next week, I'm also going to be streaming Wednesday with the Thanksgiving and Cooking Sim stream. Because, it makes sense to do the Cooking Sim stream the night before Thanksgiving. Because, by the time I stream on Thursday night, that'll be after when people, at least in my time zone, are going to be eating Thanksgiving dinner. I guess people over in, like, California might still be feasting at that point. But, you would want to prepare the feast before the meal. So... But I don't know when the next arena stream will be. Next UB Funky stream is definitely next Saturday. At least I plan on it being next Saturday. Sometimes